What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 196 and a very Merry Christmas. On today's episode, we're going to recap week number 16 of the NFL. It was a wild week. Let's do it. Welcome to the Bench Podcast and a very, very Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday. I think Kwanzaa and Hanukkah are this week as well. It's a big holiday week.
I don't know.
For all the, I'm going to leave that alone because I feel like I'm,
for everybody.
I feel like I'm hopping around landmines here.
As long as the kids are getting Christmas gifts, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Whether you're Jewish or not.
Okay. Jeez. Those are the landmines I was referring to that I was hopping around.
Yeah.
Gabe just belly flopped on one.
The Ninos.
As you can tell, Gabe back in the house sitting in for Angel. He's still hurt.
Yeah, I got it wrong. Turns out he has chlamydia.
Oh,
so prayers for Angel. Did not have the runs. That's chlamydia.
You can tell Gabe's nice and loose because the Packers haven't played today.
Yeah.
Like me and AJ are just wound tight. But yeah, Gabe back in the house sitting in for Angel. Angel's sick, trying to get healthy for the holidays. Over at producer's desk, single barrel action, 6'5" on a good day.
My
AJ
boy!
Woodson. How you doing, AJ?
What up? It's been a rough day.
Tell us about it. You can tell us about it.
All right, so my team lost. Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
Sucks.
My fantasy team loses in the second round of the playoffs.
Sucks even harder.
By how much?
By 5. Because my fantasy team lost my Eagles quarterback, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah. Sucks the hardest.
So it's a rough day. So
yeah,
had some good times with this. So Derek or Andrew, treat her right.
Isn't fantasy football crazy? It's just over. We have nothing to show for it. By the way, even if we won, we'd have nothing to show.
Yeah. No, that's what I was telling Gabe. Like, all year, just crafting my team. You know what it comes down to? A Jalen Hurts concussion. That's what it came down to. I'm so proud of my team, and it came down to that.
So not single-handedly, but that's the biggest thing happened to your team.
Yeah, that's. I mean, because my Bijan did well. Breece Hall had a decent day. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah.
I had a good day, and then
I think you could feel better about that than me trading away the piece that would have won. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's just luck of the draw.
Right.
I made a stupid decision. What's the biggest thing that you did?
Mine was pretty big. I traded a first-round pick, next year's first-round pick, for Derrick Henry, who we saw Derrick Henry did in fantasy this year, to show up in the first round of the playoffs and score 4 total points.
Right.
Yeah.
See, that's not on you guys.
Yeah,
that's
right.
You made the right call.
Yeah, it's the right call to start him, so it's not my fault he did that. So, yeah.
Good luck and congratulations to all you who are playing in your fantasy football league championships next week. And hope you win. Hope you got a big old trophy. Episode 196 today. We are 4 shows away from episode 200. That's really exciting. And thank you to all you who have been following us from day one, or if you joined on midway through the first season, or even this off season, or through season 2. Thank you so much for following. If you follow here on the YouTube channel, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Subscribe, turn on notifications. Thank you for all your support there. Follow us on Instagram, X, and TikTok. To follow us on the different social media platforms and to follow the show between the show. And then check out benchshow.com, home of the Bench Beat, articles on fandom, fantasy, and all things NFL. All right, boys. Week 16 just about wrapped up. The Cowboys and Bucks playing currently as we're recording this. 5:42 here on the West Coast. And we'll see how that goes. That has big playoff implications for the Buccaneers because the Falcons did win today. But the Buccaneers control their future. So they keep winning, that they're going to be in and win that division. And then we have tomorrow, Packers and Saints. So that's also a big one because
Minnesota keeps winning. Minnesota keeps winning. There was another reason why it was big. I totally forgot. It's just a chain. You know how these playoff weeks are. Like, everything's a chain reaction.
Lions won, though. Do you guys still have a shot at the division?
No. Division, we are officially out of the NFC.
Well, you have a shot because you play Minnesota next week.
But no, he's talking about our actual division. I actually saw a headline say that we're officially.
So you're going to be on the road in the playoffs anyway.
Yeah, we're on the road anyway. So it's just all about
road dogs, baby.
Who we're going to play, though. So,
Gotcha. It is Monday, and on Monday, we get into the benchies. All right, let me start us off. Week 16, my benchy is this. The No Fun League Award, benchy, goes to the refs, who threw this asinine flag at Justin Jefferson when he was just trying to have a little fun with a couple guys who he completely screwed this.
I saw this.
Justin Jefferson, after catching, I believe, his second touchdown, that's Devin Witherspoon, Tariq Woolen. These guys were going at it the whole game, and you love to see it. you love to see these stars going at each other. He catches a second touchdown, proceeds to do the coldest gritty I've ever seen in my life, staring at Devin Witherspoon in his soul while he's doing the gritty. You got to love it, but got to flag for it because this is the No Fun League, and that is the No Fun League.
He's looking directly at him.
Into his soul, man.
And staying, like, with his pace.
That is an all-time trash-talking move.
Awesome. Awesome.
We got to get...
I got the Boy That Looked Familiar award. Going out to the Detroit Lions, once again reaching into their bag of tricks. AJ, go ahead and play that first one. You see right here, John, it was he.
Oh, yeah.
He acted like he was falling, only to throw it to a wide open Sam Laporta. Now, for you fans, you casual fans, you probably saw him thinking, wow, that was really well drawn up, everything. Us Packer fans, we said, boy, that looked familiar. Go ahead and play the next clip.
Oh, no. Really?
This is last year. This was actually not planned. A fumble, wide open, to the tight end. So now I know what you guys thinking. Oh, you're just a Packer fan. You want to take credit for the Lions thing. No. OC of the Lions, Ben Johnson, actually admitted he got that plan. He got that play from this play last year in the Packers. So that's the boy that looked familiar.
That's just great OCing.
That's great OC. Yeah, he took a bad play that was and said, hey, let's perfect it. And they did just that.
Ben Johnson's the real deal, man.
Ben Johnson, hey, smart guy.
He's the real deal.
Smart guy.
AJ, what you got?
I've got the Will Levis Biggest Idiot of the Week award, and it actually doesn't go to a quarterback. It goes to our friend, the Prince who was promised, tight end Kyle Pitts.
I haven't seen this.
All right, Joe, you have not seen this. So Michael Penix had a decent day today. 200 yards, I think 18 for 27, but he's got that interception on his stat line. Let's take a look at this interception.
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh.
The gift from Kyle Pitts.
What a hell of a tackle by Drake London.
Now I was telling AJ on the drive over, I can't believe I was rooting for Penix. I didn't watch the game, but he has that nasty blemish on there. AJ, you really opened up my eyes to that one.
Yeah, I'm officially just done with Kyle Pitts. I mean, and this might not have been a touchdown, but he could have had a touchdown on the next play, had a touchdown on his resume for his very first start, and Kyle Pitts just
literally gave it.
Kyle Pitts is just
he tossed that.
He has to be one of the more disciplined. We need to start throwing his name in there when we talk about failed generational talents.
Huge
because
bust.
he was sold to us like, we've never seen a tight end like this before.
Yeah.
He's going to come in and wreck the league.
Freak of nature. He's the highest drafted tight end ever.
How many tight ends since he's been drafted have been much better than him?
Trey McBride is from his draft class.
Wow, that's
Trey McBride was the second tight end drafted.
I could just go off on tight ends right now. Thinking right now,
Sam Laporta, Tucker Kraft,
so many. Yeah, even got like Tucker
Kincaid.
Kraft. Honestly, give me Noah Gray.
Yeah,
like give me Noah Gray. I'm just so Kyle Pitts is not the real deal. He's a big, athletic.
He's a big
guy,
idiot
for sure.
I said this when back when the season started. I don't like watching him play football. He does not look like a good football player. And, he'll have little sparks here and there, but just, dude.
If I'm his coach, I'm throwing him on defense. You see him more of a defender. Yeah. You see maybe like a pass rusher.
Pass rush,
I was going to say, you see him someone, your hand should be in the dirt.
Go put on 20 pounds and just go rush it.
Where he doesn't have to catch it all the time. Just knock it down.
You have to touch the football.
Your job is just to get to the guy with the ball.
By the way, you might want to throw Drake London on defense, too. That was a hell of a chase down tackle.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. I wonder who has him in Dynasty Leagues. All right, let's go. Let's move on to recapping Week 16. Quick update on the Cowboys-Bucks game. Cowboys up 10-0 on the Bucks with 1:12 left in the first quarter. Come on, Bake.
Come on, Bake.
Cowboys officially eliminated from the playoffs today, by the way. So, all right.
They got nothing to play for, right?
Week 16 recap. Let's do it. We went into this week not the greatest matchups. It might be a boring week. It might not be that, not too much action, but it was a wild week. Let's get started right where we don't want to start, AJ. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
Eagles and Commanders. The Eagles lose, 10-game streak broken, but maybe of bigger concern, Jalen Hurts goes out with concussion in the first quarter. And coming up to the playoffs, this is not something you want to be dealing with.
Yeah.
Because it's not a given that people just bounce back from concussions. Concussions are like hamstrings, man. You never know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Because we've seen guys go on IR this year because of concussions. That's going to be a thing, I think, moving forward.
Yeah.
Or we've seen them bounce back. We just never know. I think maybe just one or two people have played the next week. Like, it's almost always at least a 1 week injury.
Right.
But Eagles lose today to the Commanders. Jayden Daniels locked down the Rookie of the Year conversation today.
Yes, he did.
Right?
Yeah.
You guys agree with that?
Yeah. I think I mentioned that to you when we were watching that.
It was the first thing I said as soon as the game ended. That it's his now.
Has to be, right?
We were talking like a week ago how like Bo Nix was it against the Chargers where like that was his game.
It was Thursday night.
He needed to win that game to solidify it, and then Jayden Daniels has this kind of week. Like it's locked.
Jayden Daniels 258 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Also gave them 9 carries, 81 yards on the ground. He was electric.
Great game. Wow,
he was electric. They dug themselves a big hole, and then the Eagles just I want to say fell asleep. They also had some key injuries. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson thrown out of the game on just him being ridiculous and the refs just not, helping the situation. But Saquon went off. AJ, I'll go to you because I can talk for 10 minutes straight about this game and all the things that went wrong. What stood out to you about this Eagles loss, and are you worried at all about the Eagles?
So I was going to ask you, are you worried about the defense? Because you look at the offense with Kenny Pickett coming in, Saquon still awesome game, 29 carries for 150 yards,
right.
2 TDs. AJ Brown 8 for 97 and a TD. Even with the Devonta Smith absolutely horrible drop in the red zone, still had a decent day. We gave up Jayden Daniels 5 touchdowns on this offense that. I mean, eliminate Zacchaeus, and then even got Luke McCaffrey involved. Jamison Crowder had a nice day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one game. We've had a stellar defense for the last 10, 12 weeks. I don't know. Are you worried about the defense after today?
I'm not. They've been a lot more good than bad, but I am worried about this pass rush because it seems to disappear at times. It seems just to be non-existent unless it's Jalen Carter, Josh Sweat, Nolan Smith. Like they're not dominant yet. They're good, and then there's times where they're great, but sometimes they disappear, and that is maybe the one thing I think, especially with like a Brandon Graham going down, because he had a knack for big sacks, like in the big moments. But as a whole, no, I'm not too worried. There's not a ton of mobile quarterbacks even in the NFC.
That's true.
Like that's more of a like in the AFC you have Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, those kind of guys. But even like a Patrick Mahomes, but in the NFC, you're gonna get. Like Jordan Love doesn't run very much. He's probably
the most
athletic.
Mobile guy in the NFC. Though.
Yeah, but even he doesn't run very much. Jayden Daniels would be the guy
who could be our first playoff match.
But then you got Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, those kind of guys. And I think that gave him fits. I hope they learned a lot today about playing Jayden Daniels because, like you said, we might see this guy first round in the playoffs, and it's going to be at the link, and we'll see how that goes. But Washington does this to the Eagles every year. Every year, they snap a winning streak. If you remember, Eagles were at 7 games or whatever.
We were 8-0, and
8-0.
2 years ago.
Taylor Heineke game.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, it happens. That's Washington, and that's a divisional game. You saw the Patriots take the Bills to the brink today. That's just divisional games. That's how it happens. And I like that the NFL backloaded these divisional games this year. It's been a lot of fun. Gabe, Washington in the playoffs with Jayden Daniels. How you feeling?
I mean, I feel good about them. I feel like this was I said it, although I did not predict it would take Hurts going down. But I said I think the Commanders actually have a legitimate shot at beating his team. Having this kind of win right now, that puts a lot of energy in the building.
Huge confidence boost.
Not just having that, but then having the quarterback have the kind of game that he had right now. That alone can get this whole team moving. So again, I'm still optimistic about them. I would still take the Eagles if they were to play in the first round of the playoffs. I would still take the Eagles. But this Commanders team, the fan base, you got to be so incredibly pumped at what you saw today, taking down the divisional, and not just a rival, but one of the best teams in football, if not the best. Now, of course, Hurts is gone, but that team. The Eagles, to kind of answer the question that you asked, AJ, I still believe in the Eagles. I think the Eagles are how I felt about the Vikings at the start of the season. There's too much talent around the team for Kenny Pickett to mess up a game. So I feel good if you're the Commanders. I'm still very optimistic about it.
It took a lot of huge mistakes for the Commanders to win this game.
They needed some gift wraps.
Several drops.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, they had, like, Joe Davis would not shut up about it. But the Commanders had 5 turnovers. It was I don't want to say fluky in like a bad way. Like, Jayden Daniels balled out. 100%, all the respect to them. But for something like that to happen again would be highly unusual.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't like last year when the Eagles would lose a game like this. It was, it wasn't, it didn't seem fluky. It seemed like, we're just not really good enough to keep up with people. Like, we're more names than substance.
And to the Eagles' credit, I know what they have three. There's a third loss, right?
Yeah.
There's their loss. So what? The one against the Falcons, that was a fluky loss.
Yep.
That was a drop.
They
against
should have
Saquon.
won that one.
This
This
well, they had
loss.
another one
even
where
the
basically everyone was out.
We were missing like 6 players against
Oh,
Tampa.
that's right. Yeah.
We
So-
had
so-
no receivers.
So then there's that game, and now
Against Tampa.
And now you throw this one in where just if Devontae just catches the ball. So it's like when you got sure the Eagles are losing 3 games, but one play goes the other way and you're undefeated right now.
Now,
I know it's easy to say, but I'm just saying.
right now the division is not locked up.
Yeah.
Which is
Washington
wild.
is now 10-5. Eagles are 12-3,
And they have the tiebreak.
and we just need Jalen Hurts back.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm a little more worried about. If Jalen Hurts,
And we were talking too. The Cowboys next week is very
they're
interesting.
going to be pests.
Hurts is going to play next week.
Yeah.
Like they ruled him out. Did he ever come back in the game?
No,
Yeah.
No.
He's not going to play next week. It's going to
he wasn't even on the field.
You think so? I guess you're more.
It's happened like 1 or 2 times this year where someone came back the next week.
No,
Maybe I'm not paying attention to that, but I'm more just like I don't. Are you sure he's not
No,
going to
it
play?
is like 90%. If you have probably 95%, if you get a concussion, you are not playing the next week. It has not happened very often this year.
It's going to be Kenny Pickett, and we should talk about Kenny Pickett, honestly. If he could win a game, is it in Dallas? Do you know?
It is.
You check on that. But
just one
Kenny
second.
Pickett, I think, was up and down his performance.
It's home.
It's a home game, so it's at
That's
the
good.
link.
That's good for him.
I thought he made some really nice throws. I thought he looked pretty confident, actually. But then he did some Kenny Pickett things as well. Yeah. Particularly zero pocket awareness.
Oh yeah.
Just no idea where the pass is coming from and when it's there.
There's a particular play that I'm sure you know
Which
exactly
one?
what I'm talking about, where he's looking left the whole time. My wife was so confused. I rewind. I'm like, look at this idiot. Look at him not have no clue that a big 300-pounder is running full speed at his back. Like,
And Greg Olsen talked about it too. He said that's all on Kenny Pickett.
it's exactly.
You slid the protection to the left, and you had a hot route to the right
Yep.
where the I think it was Dante Fowler was coming unblocked.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a very simple quarterback play, and the guy's just looking off to his left, just no idea. I'm surprised he held onto the ball.
Yeah.
And then it was the one where he got blindsided and he has the ball out. He did give us a little bit rushing. I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
But as long as he doesn't make the big lose the game play, I think the Eagles will be good enough to hold on. It needs to be a big Saquon game.
Yeah.
It needs to be Saquon next week, but we'll have a lot to talk about going up to that one. I forgot I was going to ask you. I was asking them about
Yeah, but kind of going off what you're saying. That absolutely. I mean, the starting cast around him.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do a whole lot.
He
to
shouldn't
win a
have
game.
to.
He shouldn't have to. So, I say this about the Vikings at the start of the season. There's too much talent on that freaking team for them to be a bad team. The Eagles, I feel, are much more far ahead than they are. So, yeah, I mean, you just got to coach him up. These are things that, he was thrown into the Lions in today. He had no idea who he was going to play against a divisional team that is just desperate to win a ball game. Just coach him up a little bit. I think Eagles are fine. I think they're just fine.
That's such a crazy thing, too, because I was thinking about that while watching the game. Like, the life of a backup QB. You have to wake up every day acting like you are the starter.
Yeah.
Or that's how you lose your job, just by not being prepared. Yep. You have to prepare every day, and then when that moment comes, go in. It's you right now. No warm-up. It's you. Go in.
That, and then everything you do is just looked at.
Yeah.
Like every little,
That's so
Jalen
true.
Hurts can make the same exact, pick and stuff like that, and we're like, okay, he's still fine. He makes that same, the interception, fumble, whatever it is. So, yeah, they're all that to say, I think they're going to be fine. I think they're going to be just fine.
Before we move on, quick shout-out to Olamide Zaccheaus' revenge game.
Yeah.
5 catches, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, screw you, bro. Let's move on to the Rams and the Jets in a game that
I watched this one.
it was a fun game, though,
It was
right?
really fun.
Rams win because they needed to win. They hold on to
Yeah.
that top spot in the NFC West at 9-6 now. I think that's overall exciting to everyone.
Yeah.
Because I want to see them in the playoffs. I think they're fun. I don't want to see we'll talk about the Cardinals in a second or the Seahawks. The Jets, though, let's start with them first. 4-11. I was surprised after seeing the stats that the Jets are putting up that they only had 9 points. But you watch this game. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers because it was a big week for him.
Yeah, no, it was a huge week for him.
Does he deserve some trash talk from Ryan Clark tomorrow?
No, not at all. I thought there was times in the game where they went for it on 4th and 5, and they were like, it would have been like a 20-yard field goal, which would have made a big difference at that point in the game. And they want Aaron to get that, the big one. But I mean, I think Aaron Rodgers went out there today, mistake-free. I mean, I know that's not really for Aaron Rodgers. It's like, okay, it's Aaron Rodgers. But, no, I mean, the guy went out there. He played well. Obviously, didn't get the win, but it's not like he was, winning beforehand anyway. So you can't knock him down too much.
Also, former and future Packer Devontae Adams. He's good again.
God, I hope so.
He's good.
God, I hope so.
That's fun to watch.
Yeah.
But the Rams here go to 9-6. I mean, a game they should win. Stafford did play great, only threw for 110 yards.
It's pretty ugly. It was a lot of field goals.
Yeah, it's kind of I don't know. Nothing about this game makes sense with how the seasons these two teams put up.
Yeah.
But here we are, 19-9, also a weird score. And Rams pull it out. And honestly, at the end of the year, these are the kind of wins you're just like, you know what, we got a dub, and it doesn't matter.
Just move on to next week.
Just keep moving.
It happened. Let's move on.
Let's keep moving here with the Giants and the Falcons. The debut of Michael Penix. We showed his first pick. Obviously, wasn't his fault. Didn't throw a touchdown. Didn't run as much as I thought he would. This game he didn't really have to do much. The defense did a lot. I think they even had a touchdown themselves. And
Bates, I think, had a pick six.
Yes, and then Bijan Robinson.
Big game.
Just completely took over the game like he can if they just decide to give him the ball. And that's all they needed because the Giants are really, really bad.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, we kind of talked about it. If you were going to have your first professional game, might as well have it against the worst team in the NFL. And I'm just happy that, he kind of got his feet wet in the league. Like I said, the pick isn't really on him. Due for what, 200 yards, I think?
Yeah.
Like 190 or something like that?
202.
Oh, 202. Yeah, it was around there. I like it.
next week, Sunday Night
Who they
Football.
got?
Michael Penix and the Falcons taking on Jayden Daniels and the Commanders.
Yep.
So that should be a lot of fun.
Reality hits us all.
Yeah, so Falcons, hold on to that one. They're still chasing the Buccaneers, so they're probably pretty excited about the start tonight's game.
Bucks just scored a touchdown. So it's
7-10.
10
All right.
10-7.
Go, Bake.
Go Bucks. Let's move on here to I've been waiting to talk about this game all day. The Cardinals and the Panthers.
Oh, my God.
All right. Listen, we put out a little, and we had a kind of an impromptu conversation about Kyler Murray and Bryce Young.
Did we even know they were facing each other?
Didn't do it on
week?
purpose. We're just really good at this. And one of us that's actually back here on the show today rode hard for one Kyler Murray. Gabe, how are you feeling today?
Definitely did not help. Definitely did not help. The fact that they went to overtime
Yep.
already was just like, my God. And then not only did they go to overtime, they had multiple possessions in overtime and still didn't do it.
Kyler Murray on the day,
yeah.
202 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I mean, they scored 30 points, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
But they lost in overtime to the Panthers. And you have is anyone hurt on the Cardinals? Like, James Conner had a huge day.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison, I don't know what to think of him.
Yeah.
But I mean, has your opinion changed at all? We're talking about Bryce Young in a second, but as far as Kyler Murray, like if you're the Cardinals, how can you possibly look at this guy and think, I see a future there?
It's tough after this kind of loss. Slightly unfair to ask me after this kind of loss, but at the same time, it's a reality and it happened. I'm still holding out hope on him. But yeah, after today's loss, that's kind of going down a little bit here. I still got hope in the kid. I still want the kid to be really successful. A lot of talent on that team, but losing to the Panthers in overtime is just it doesn't get much worse in 2024 than that, honestly.
AJ, there's an interesting situation here brewing in Carolina because Bryce Young was all but off the team a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like he had been benched. It was over. The Red Rocket was in there, and that was going to be the season. They're going to ride it out, take another quarterback. Then, Dalton gets in a car accident, which I'm still not comfortable. I'm still not comfortable making fun of because I don't know exactly what happened.
Did he get hurt?
I don't know, and he was with his family, so I don't even want to joke about it. But
he was cheering when they won today. Hubbard, he was in the crowd. So
he was in the crowd.
No, I'm saying he was in the group.
Okay.
Like I saw him. You can't miss the guy.
But Bryce Young has come back today, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's looked better. Any chance the Bucks? I mean, right now we're in the top 5 pick or whatever. Okay? Let's do this. It's more fair to do this. Are you passing on a quarterback this year and holding on to Bryce Young one more year?
If I'm the Panthers, absolutely 100%. I am building. We're building a team. We have a guy that might be our guy. You've got to at least give that a shot. Draft an offensive lineman at whatever point, whether it's the 5th pick, 6th. I think right now they're 7th.
Yeah.
Take an offensive lineman right there. Build your O-line. You can find receivers in the 2nd round. See if this is your guy. He's still in the rookie contract. You have no pressure. And we're hearing more and more that this QB draft class is not as big as we thought it was a year ago.
Right.
So I think you wait on giving up.
Yeah.
And like you said, we talked about this on the show all the time. We've seen the patience is paying off more and more.
Yep.
I mean, just Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, like you see what patience can do. You see what putting a good coaching staff can do. He's showing it right now. If I'm the Panthers, I'm not taking a quarterback this year.
Yeah, this upcoming draft class is I think as we dive into it, we're going to really realize there's not a lot of quarterbacks available.
Yeah.
You got Ward, Shadur Sanders. Quinn Ewers might not even come out. There's rumors of him going to play with Bill Belichick in UNC for one more year because he didn't have a great year. He got benched a year.
Wow.
Next year, the year after that, is the Archie Manning year. That should be a fun one.
That'll be fun.
But I think you're right, AJ. I think if I was the Panthers management, there's not that blue chip prospect this year. I think you either take the best available there, maybe like a Travis Hunter falls to you, or there's a great I forgot his name, but a great cornerback from Michigan that's there. You take someone like that, and just who knows? Let's ride Bryce Young one more year and see how it goes. And I'm there. Yeah.
You said something interesting though. If you're the Panthers management, well, David Tepper is the Panthers manager. So who knows who knows what he's gonna force them to do?
You're right.
So I don't know.
Stay tuned. They'll probably do something stupid. Let's go to the Browns and the Bengals. The Bengals win. Both these teams are eliminated, though. It kind of just sucks to not see Joe Burrow playing meaningful football at this time of year. And then if you think about it, if this team was just in the playoff hunt.
I don't think Cincinnati's eliminated yet.
Are they not eliminated
They're
yet?
not eliminated
Oh,
yet.
you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. They're
still in it.
They have an outside chance. I think they would need the Broncos and the Chargers to lose.
But remember,
the final two.
They are playing the Broncos next week.
Right. Yeah, I guess it's slim chance.
It's still interesting.
It'd be cool if they made it.
We talked about that.
Yeah,
they're
playing the Broncos.
The final week is interesting too. I think the
Broncos are playing the Chiefs.
Yep. So there's a scenario here for the Bengals.
Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, what they're doing this year.
Yeah.
It's
Stafford and Cooper Kupp-esque. Like they're really, really good. I also love that they are riding hard for T. Higgins. I think he's gonna stay in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, why mess up a great thing? That's literally a great thing. If Higgins is assigned there for an extra 4 years or whatever, we're talking Burrow having 40-plus touchdown passes probably all 4 years.
They found something on offense here, man. If they could just fix this defense next year.
Yeah.
I mean, look at just the box score today. Joe Burrow, 250, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Chase Brown rushed for 100 yards. Yeah. You have T. Higgins as a second receiver, 8 catches for 60 yards.
Andre Yoshivas is the third receiver.
Their new Tyler Boyd is there. Yeah. And he's a good-looking man.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking guy.
Touchdown catch.
Yeah, touchdown. 53 yards and a touchdown.
He needs to take his helmet off every time he scores.
I've never seen him, so I'm actually excited to see this.
He's like half white, half Japanese, 6'4" dude.
Incredible athlete.
Wow. Yeah.
Incredible
ridiculous athlete.
He does all like the Olympic stuff. He's a catch.
All right.
I feel like I went too hard on that.
Yeah, no, we need to bring it up. It needs to be brought up.
I'm not trying to date the guy.
He's a beautiful man. But yeah, I'm glad I'm wrong on that. I'm glad Joe Burrow's still playing meaningful football because I mean he's one of just. I'm glad he's back to being back because you remember at the beginning of this year, like, well, he doesn't do back-to-back practices. His elbow's still messed up. He can't remember the water bottle thing. Oh my God! You couldn't pick up a water bottle. Stop. He's one of the best in the league, and I hope to see him in the playoffs.
That game he had last week. Who did they play last week again? I forgot who it was. It was a team that they should have smashed. And he had a great game, and they won big time. And he was on the sideline saying like, "This isn't good enough. Like we're not playing."
He was pissed.
I was like, "Yo, that's what a leader is, right there."
He's a dog.
That he has a great game. His own stats are great, and he's saying we are better than this.
Who did it come out?
I love that.
It came out this week. He's dating some chick.
Lesbian.
Wait, what?
You're talking about Joe Burrow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The girl, she's like a lesbian influencer. Oh, no, I'm sorry. She's a lesbian OnlyFans model. She was the one who was at his house.
During the break-in. I read about this.
Yeah.
I also subscribed. I'm kidding. I did it.
Wait a minute. That's a big story.
Yeah.
So is that considered coming out?
That means nobody's safe. This is Joe Burrow. no one's safe.
Lesbians around the world are like, oh my God. Joe Burrow's turning them.
This is Joe Burrow, man.
Burrow, man.
Joe Burrow, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, hell of a week, Joe Burrow.
A new Tom
hell
Brady.
of a week, my guy.
Hey, real quick correction. Andre Yoshivas is not Japanese. He was born in Japan.
I was going to say.
But he is half Filipino. So,
let's go.
Kuya Andre.
We're coming up, man. Me and AJ,
Andre.
basically half Filipino
We're basically,
now. marrying into the Philippines.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on here. Titans and Colts. Now, this game, I'm sure I won't get wrong. Neither of these teams matter at the point. Actually, are the Colts still in it?
Colts are still in it.
Damn.
Colts are still in it.
Yeah.
Okay, Tennessee made this a game, which thank God they didn't win because they need a high draft pick because you need a quarterback. But let's talk about the Indianapolis Colts here. Jonathan Taylor, if you remember him. Remember him?
Yeah.
Every now and then, who have just throw a 200-yard game out there.
He was on my fantasy team 2 weeks
effortless.
ago.
Well, Anthony Richardson was on mine ever
2
since
weeks
he
ago.
left, dropping 20 points a game. But, yeah, AR and Jonathan Taylor do exactly what they're brought there to do. We haven't talked about Anthony Richardson in a minute. I kind of feel like we're kind of just letting him ride out in silence here.
I don't want to talk about him because of what he's been doing since we haven't been talking about him.
But
That's
even,
true.
I mean,
He's not lighting it up, though.
he had 11 attempts.
Yeah.
Today.
right.
7 for 11.
But the point is he's winning ball games.
Right.
And everyone around him is playing better.
Exactly.
Like, that's all that matters.
9 carries for 70 yards and a touchdown. They're fine. You know what they're doing?
They're doing. Yep.
They're playing him like you're supposed to
Exactly
play
what they
him.
were supposed to do.
Which is why 11 attempts doesn't scare me.
No, that right. Yeah, I didn't bring it up to scare. I'm saying we're not talking about him because it's not a sexy stat line.
Yeah.
But they're doing what they need to do to win ball games.
How he's going to win a ball game for them. Exactly.
They're in the playoff picture.
Yeah.
God, if you're a Colt, Greg,
Greg.
if you're a Colts fan, you've been brought to the ringer.
Yeah.
Like you're
And you're trying not
been
to
to
get
hell,
excited.
yeah. They're not gonna make playoffs.
And the thing is, they could have if they'd
Yeah.
managed this
They're
correctly
not,
from,
but it's
from
a-
day one.
yeah.
Well, remember when they benched Anthony Richardson
Yep.
for a couple games?
Yep.
He just said it, though. Like, they're not going to make the playoffs, but now they found how to do this right. Let's go into next year.
Let's
also,
talk.
we have a whole draft.
Let's talk priorities in the offseason for the Colts, real quick.
Oh, this is fun.
What do you think this team needs the most?
Offensive line.
Yep.
O-line.
Oh,
Okay, so you guys are the thought of we have an incredible backfield, maybe better than Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson as far as running the football. Let's beef up this O-line and control games.
Control.
I like that. I thought defense right away.
I mean, yeah, there's going to be needs across the board, but I'm saying what you have, the Colts are going to be known for their offense. So why not beef it up while it's up and come right now?
Other question. So we're definitely with AR next year, right? I mean, there's not a chance to move on.
Absolutely.
We're not crowning the guy, but yes, continue forward with
If
it.
we're gonna get Bryce Young another year,
Exactly.
AR gets maybe 3 more years.
Yeah.
Still crazy that Daniel Jones got like 6 years, but we won't talk about it. Shane
It's
Steichen,
done.
is he around next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He's
Yeah, he's in the playoff.
He's
hunt.
shown he can adjust and change in the middle of the season.
If they could just not do stupid things.
Yeah.
I don't talk about.
You really hate them when you do.
Titans. We'll see you next year. Right.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Titans? I don't.
I don't want to talk about Titans.
Tajay Spears had a good game. Like, finally.
Remember him?
Yeah. 1A, 1B, huh?
Jay Spears. Jonathan Taylor really brings out the best of him. Yeah. Let's move on. Lions, Bears.
Oh, my.
Yeah, Lions look really good. Jameer Gibbs, he's pretty good. And big Jamison Williams day.
Yeah.
I love this Lions
J-Mo.
team, man. They're fun. They're fun, and they are I think they're as unstoppable as an offense as I've seen in a while.
It shows you with the way Goff plays. It doesn't matter who he plays with. He's just going to be efficient as hell. And that's not because he's just that great. He's good. He's very good. But it's just because they just know how to work that offense. Every single week, somebody steps up. That's what you want to see out of your offense.
Should Jared Goff be in the MVP conversation?
100%.
This year, absolutely.
Why is he not? I mean, he is the
Because
most
he's
unsexy
Jared
guy.
Goff. He's not sexy. Like
What a weird career. This man went to the Super Bowl.
He was considered like the extra in that big trade a couple years ago.
Yeah, he was
Complete
the throw-in.
Complete
And
throw-in.
to be fair, he still kind of is because Stafford at least won a ring out of it. But the way the Lions are training right now, they might have their own ring in like a month and a half or so.
Maybe I misunderstand what you're saying, but he's much more. He turned out to be much more a throw-in. He's a franchise quarterback for the Lions.
No, I know, but I'm saying at the time of that trade,
Yeah.
Goff moving was kind of like, oh, okay, that's just whatever.
Gibbs more than capable of handling the backfield.
More than capable.
Oh, yeah.
I think maybe the Montgomery thing might be a little overblown in that sense. We're like, well, you also have a potential All-Pro guy to take his place.
I think we talked about that.
Quite the luxury there for the Lions. Defensively, it's the Bears, so I guess you're not going to be tested too much.
Mm-hmm.
Although Caleb Williams did throw the ball around a little bit today,
Yeah,
330 yards, but just not enough there for the Bears.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know. I guess you got to start with the coach. There's a lot of names being thrown out there. Belichick now off the board. I'm trying not to bring up Harbaugh every time I talk about the Bears because it's done.
know.
He's in L.A. or San Diego, wherever the hell the Chargers play.
So weird. Jim
County.
Harbaugh's in L.A.?
Yeah.
It just hit me.
Yeah, exactly. But they need someone here to right the ship. There's so much talent in Chicago, and they have such a great fan base. It's such a cool organization. It pains me that the Bears aren't good.
And a quarterback that's incredibly raw, like is good, but it's playing bad because there's no coaching around him. And when I say coaching, I mean like in your face coaching. We're gonna tell you how to play this game. We're gonna show you how to play this game. That's what he needs the most.
He's so erratic, but you could tell. Like honestly, I think he's a lot more like C.J. Stroud than we want to think. Like C.J. Stroud's crazy erratic, and he's reeled in a little more. But I think because he has a Bobby Slowick and D'Amico Ryans to coach him up. But yeah, I think Caleb Williams just needs someone to rein him in.
Exactly.
So I don't know who that is. I hope they get it right. They probably won't because it's the Bears. But we'll see.
Love you, Chicago.
We are going to criticize that till the Crows.
Harbaugh?
No, we're going to criticize whoever they hire.
Yeah.
Just to no end.
Yeah, I mean, as they should be.
Because there's no like clear cut name right now. I know we still got to go through the rounds of firing and OCs.
That's
and
true.
all that.
They did this a couple of years ago where there was no name, so they took what's his name? They took him out of college, but he was like a nobody in college.
Who, the Bears?
Yeah, remember that 2016
Jim Tressel.
Tressel.
Wow, I forgot Tressel was there.
There
Ohio
was
State.
There actually was a good amount of names out there, and the Bears did something like that. So it's just it's the organization. The organization.
See, the thing is, I like Ryan Poles.
Yeah.
I think he's good.
Yeah.
Just they just got to nail. I don't want to get on it again, but they got to nail this offseason with coaching.
Yeah, they do. They have to. I mean, there's nowhere really. Where else do you go? Your defense is fine. It could get better. Your offense, all the pieces are there. There's nowhere. You're not going to replace.
Keenan Allen had like a 200-yard game.
Keenan Allen's been fantastic for a month.
Yeah, like you're not going to just replace one guy on this team, and all of a sudden your problems are fixed. You got to nail the coaching at this.
It is hilarious that they replaced Khalil Herbert with basically just a younger Khalil Herbert, or not even younger. Is DeAndre Swift even younger than Khalil Herbert?
I don't know.
Because
this.
He's not better than Khalil Herbert. I just don't understand that DeAndre Swift contract.
But they probably just saw him on an Eagles team. It's like, well, Eagles know how to do back, so let's go get him.
Lions pretty close to locking up the number 1 overall seed, right?
They locked up the North. I know that. I know the NFC North is now.
No.
It's not the Vikings one. You're right.
And that's still they haven't locked up anything. They've locked up the 1 seed. They've locked up the division.
They meet up in 2 weeks.
No, it's last week. Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Honestly, I hope they both. If the Eagles aren't going to get it, I want to see it decided in that last week.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. All right, let's move on here to that team, the Vikings and the Seahawks. Vikings won to keep that hope alive.
Game of the week, right?
Really? Do you think so?
This game was so much fun.
Seahawks, big loss because they're chasing the Rams. Rams won, and so Seahawks slipping away here. I think they do still have a chance at the wild card. You have these standings up, AJ, so I'm not.
They're a game behind. They're a game behind the Rams. I do know that.
Yeah, Rams. I know sole possession. They came in with sole possession in the first place.
Yeah,
and now they definitely have it.
Yeah, so they are still. They're 8-7 now. Rams are 9-6.
Yeah,
so they're still one game behind.
Are they playing?
The Rams.
I mean, it's all divisional games at the end.
I believe so. Just a second. They play the Rams the last week.
Let's go, baby.
Bravo to the NFL for finally figuring out this part of the schedule.
Yep. Now it's got to figure out the Pro Bowl.
Oh, yeah. I got you. Don't have one.
Yeah,
there it is.
There it is. True. I'll enjoy that a whole lot more.
Okay. Should they have paid Sam Darnold already?
Man, he had a moment in today's game. I told you this was the game of the week, and that moment came when he was beating up the 2 plays before the big play. He's down, touchdown. Justin Jefferson wasn't accurately thrown, but when you're throwing to a guy like Justin Jefferson, just get it in his area. He's huffing and puffing in pain, and what I saw him do today in that game, on that play, the biggest moment would end up being the winning touchdown. This man deserves a contract. He deserves a contract. I know you have your boy is there, but
I love JJ McCarthy, but yeah, you got to sign him.
You got to. And here's the thing too, and I was on this boat. If you're still kind of like, well, he's a game manager, this and that. That's fine. Okay, fine, whatever. But if you get 3 more years, 4 more years of an extension, and you get this kind of ball where you're keeping up with the Lions, you're keeping up with the Eagles. You're able to put the Packers, who
They're
we kind of
13-2.
Yeah, who we kind of had the Packers being the one that was going to take. You have them behind you. I got to tell you something. This Vikings team, again, you can say he's a game manager, whatever. If you can get this out of Sam Darnold for 3-4 more years, you could probably win a bowl right here.
I want to know who the hell is calling him a game manager. I mean, he's lighting it up.
But believe it or not, that's still the chatter. I read the comments. That's
246, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions on the year, 32-11. Like, I think those are almost exactly Jared Goff numbers.
They're just calling the style of play a game. Nobody understands what a game manager is because we're in the era of mobile QBs.
Yeah.
So anybody who's not a mobile QB, they're just being called a game manager.
Yeah.
Like, watch a football game, dude.
And he has so much talent around him, too, where it's all like, I would love to be a game manager with this kind of talent. Are you kidding me?
He's maximizing that talent, too. They seem to have the right mix at receiver as long as Addison's not getting high and parking outside of airports.
Yeah.
They seem like they're going to hold it together. Aaron Jones has been a great addition for them. They kind of have some stability there at running back.
That's probably going to be the one thing they have to kind of like moving forward. Like,
A little younger.
Yeah, let's get a little younger. Aaron's not going to be there for another 3 years, but let's go.
If they can hold on to Brian Flores, they have a little window opening up here where
Yeah, that's.
I don't want to play the Vikings in the playoffs.
I do. I mean, we're
Well,
playing
that's
them
more
next.
of a
Yeah, that's more of a divisional thing. I want to get them, but yeah, I see what you're saying though.
I mean, they're really good, and the thing about them that you can't really say about any other fringe team, only the super elite teams are elite on both, to somewhat elite on both sides, and that's what the Vikings have.
Yeah.
Really good defense, really good offense, and they don't have to rely on one another. Both of them can win games for them. So, yeah, big Vikings fans here. Looking forward to see how that plays out. Bills, Patriots. Bills with a scare here, but I think it's a divisional thing.
You can move on. This
Good for the Patriots,
Yep.
but Bills, yeah, you're fine. You came out healthy. You got the win.
You said it earlier.
Let's go.
It's just like the Rams game. Throw the film away. We got the dub. We're
Yep.
still staying the number 1 seed. On to next week.
I'll tell you about a game we're not going to talk about very much. The Raiders and the Jaguars. Raiders won 19-14 and screwed themselves in the draft order, I guess.
Even when the Raiders win, the Raiders lose. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, Jaguars. Now they're tied with the Jaguars for draft positions.
Nice.
Great. Actually, the Jaguars are in front of them because they're going to lose the tiebreak.
Yeah.
God, Raiders. Idiots. Dolphins and 49ers. Niners, I think, are done now, right?
They are done.
They're done. Yeah, they're officially
Niners
eliminated.
and Cowboys, I think, eliminated.
Yep, they got eliminated.
AJ, can you get a Cowboys update in a second?
Yeah, they're 13-7.
Oh, wow.
So just a field goal.
Field goal.
Since okay.
I like it. Dolphins win this game, and they're still alive, I believe,
alive,
right?
yeah.
Right there with the other team.
Dolphins, Colts, and Cincinnati. They're all 7-8.
And they're all chasing the Broncos
They're all
and Chargers.
chasing the Broncos and Chargers.
Woo! Go Bengals in that. I mean, as far as that goes.
Yeah, yep.
I love Tua. I love Tua.
Give me those teams again, and how many of them can make it?
So it's we've got Indianapolis, Miami, and Cincy.
Okay.
They are all fighting for the Denver and or Chargers spot.
Okay. Give me the Broncos and Bengals. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, the Chargers. I'm not pumped to see them in the playoffs.
Chargers are ahead of schedule.
Yeah,
they're 1 year.
Yeah,
ahead
the
of
Chargers
schedule.
are fine.
Yeah.
But I want to see Joe Burrow, low seed, and go in there and do what he has to do.
Yeah.
I want to see that.
Yeah, so Dolphins stay alive. Niners, let's pack it up. Get ready for next year. They'll have Brandon Ayuk back.
Niners
They'll
have a lot of work to do.
They have to
A lot
figure
of
out the Brock
decisions to
Purdy
make.
thing.
They do.
A lot of soul searching to go on there. But I saw something. The only teams that have had good years after a Super Bowl loss literally have been just the Tom Brady, or not Tom Brady. Yeah, no, Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick
Chiefs.
Mahomes, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
anyone else has really struggled. So
Yeah.
no, I'm okay. If I'm a Niners fan, yeah, you got to figure out some of the vet stuff, but like you can't win a Super Bowl every year. There's some Kyle Shanahan noise going out there.
Yeah.
Shut up. Please don't. I mean, as an Eagle fan, go ahead.
That would just throw such a bone. It's like now we're talking like the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Now we're
Now
talking.
you give him everything.
You give that man the key to the city, man. Whatever he
So
wants.
stupid. If you're a Niners fan, you want Shanahan out of there.
You're just an idiot.
You're an
I'm
idiot.
sure. Yeah, you're just an idiot.
Okay. After that, you guys want to talk? We need to talk Saturday games.
Saturday, yeah.
Saturday
Yeah.
games: Chiefs and Texans. This one, let's talk Tank Dell
You
first.
called it. Oh yeah.
Tank Dell, brutal injury.
His own teammate.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. I mean, the injuries.
It has to be sick for Hutchinson.
Just,
Xavier Hutchinson.
yeah. I mean,
But Xavier Hutchinson will get more targets now.
that's not where I was going with that.
Why did I just say
The
that?
man is in tears.
I shouldn't have said that.
Goodness gracious.
But yeah, Tank Dell, it sucks for him, man. He's just bad luck. I don't want to pick on his size, but it has to come to mind. Like, he's tiny and he keeps getting hurt.
You know who also actually, the Houston is still They haven't locked up the playoffs.
Oh, the Colts have to be right behind them, right?
Yeah, because Houston's 9-6. So Denver, the Chargers, and Houston are all 9-6. Houston's just the division leader right now. It is not. It is not over. There's a world where Indianapolis, Miami, and Cincinnati all make the playoffs.
Let me just pause. Is this probably the best playoff football we've had? Or
Like the best race to the playoffs?
The best race to the playoffs we've seen in a while.
It's a fantastic race.
I mean, even the top dogs, we're talking about teams that have won 12 games are not even near first place.
Detroit could still lose first place.
Yep.
With Minnesota there.
The race this year has just been incredible.
And the fact that the Vikings and Lions are doing it in the same division, so like you're really screwed if you win a division. You're going on the road you're the 5th seed.
Yeah.
You might, I guess, technically get a home game at some point, but probably not.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at my Packers. We're going to win at least 11 games. And most likely, if we go to the Super Bowl, we'll have to be on the road the entire time.
God, I haven't even thinking about the Texans. I thought they locked it up a while ago.
They're 9-6.
No.
Come on, guys. CJ Stroud, they have a lot of work to do in the offseason. Watching them play, they need to fix that O-line. It's absolutely awful. I think CJ Stroud someone needs to be reined in a little bit, too. Joe Mixon has been great, but there's something about that offense. It's just, it's not a responsible adult offense. It's a little bit too Madden-y.
Wouldn't that come down to play calling then, not personnel?
I definitely think play calling needs to be looked at, which is funny because Bobby Sloak's one of the hottest names.
I know.
And crazy. Probably will be again. Defensively, I think they've had some key losses, namely Petrie. His replacement Ward went out as well, so that's a big loss. And maybe just a year away. We might have been just too early on the Texans. Chiefs.
This would have been a great game for them to win, though. But Chiefs.
Let me tell you right now, Hollywood Brown's going to be a problem. Yeah. That's going to be a problem. That's going to work, and that's going to work well. Because Hollywood Brown is everything you'd hope Xavier Worthy was, who, by the way, is coming on along as well.
Yeah.
Like, now if you think about it, at any point, they could have Travis Kelce on the field, Hollywood Brown, DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, a ton. They have, all of a sudden, a plethora of wide receivers.
And their quarterback that's supposedly hurt looks fantastic.
I think he's faking it. I think he fakes it every
Did you see that touchdown run he had today?
He's a liar.
And then the way he hopped up, I was like, I get adrenaline and all, but you didn't look a bit injured.
He's lying.
You look fine.
He's lying.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's lying.
It's out there.
And honestly, even think like
first.
I honestly even think like I wonder if it's a strategic thing. Like, oh, they're gonna fall asleep on me running.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna come out running. Like, come on.
I don't know. I mean,
you're a liar, Patrick.
Or it's just the way he walks. He has that little butt walk. Where
he
it looks
like
he's limping all the time.
That's true.
Yeah, could be.
Chiefs won. They're what, 13-1 now? 14-1?
14-1. Yeah. Hey, Hollywood Brown, too. Five catches for 45, 8 targets on 27% of the snaps.
In his first game back.
He played 27. He played a quarter of the snaps.
He's only going to get more snaps.
He's going to
get more looks. He's going to get more schemes.
We forget how good Hollywood Brown's the only guy in their team. I was thinking, like, this is the only guy in their prime. All their guys are either really young or really old.
Well, and this opened up Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy had a great game.
Yeah. Right on schedule.
Noah Gray's playing well. He's got a ton of pass catchers now. You got 2 running backs now.
Damn. And P-Ryan.
Yeah.
P-Ryan had huge.
P-Ryan had big plays.
Damn it.
Josh Allen, you're our only hope. You're truly the Luke Skywalker of the AFC. You're our only hope.
All right, let's finish up here with the Ravens and Steelers. Ravens finally handled the Steelers.
I called this.
It had been their was nemesis, their kryptonite, however you want to say it. But the Ravens locked this one up. They beat the Steelers. Steelers without Pickens is not a scary team.
I watched it at AJ's, and I told him exactly this. Russell Wilson, he's at the top of the mountain as far as his mountain right now. I don't think that is mainly the thing when it comes to the Steelers. I just think you can't do much when it comes to that guy.
I think it's a weapons thing. I think he has no weapons.
Do you really?
Yeah, he has no one to throw to.
That's true, but do you think it's the only? Gabe's saying, do you think that's the only? You think it's more weapons and less? This is just Russell Wilson.
I think Russell Wilson is a good. I think he definitely could have won this game. I mean, they win this game, they are probably going to win the division.
Well, no, I'm talking about just winning the game like itself. Like once you saw the Ravens take a lead, it was almost like Russell Wilson was just either doing way too much or wasn't doing nearly enough, and that's normally because we don't have a lot for him to do in the meantime.
I mean, he's throwing to Calvin Austin, Van Jefferson, and Ben Skoranek.
That's fine, but
that might be the worst group of starting receivers in the NFL.
Right, but we had this conversation where sometimes when you're a quarterback, you're put in that situation where it's on you to win the game. And the only thing that I'm saying is that the only thing I'm saying is that I just feel like this is as far as you're going to go with this guy. You can't play from behind.
See that? No,
Things have to be on schedule. And if you're going to play against a team like the Ravens that could run that clock out, you got to get ahead fast. And if you don't do that, the game's pretty much lost from whatever the moment is.
I'm going to disagree with that. I think he did a lot of ad-libbing. I think he did as much as he could. And at times, he was doing too much. But they don't have another option. Who's the other playmaker? Najee Harris sucks now. You have Jaylen Warren. He is what he is. He's a nice rotational back. Who else is there who's going to make something happen on the Steelers offense? Give me one name. There's no one else. It has to be Russell Wilson. And he made some big mistakes, like taking off on that red zone carry and pushing it that extra couple yards and fumbling the ball. Big mistake. But for them to win, he's going to have to do those kind of things. And the reason I'm going to disagree with you and say like they can get better is that if I think you surround him with just a couple of weapons and you give him someone to throw to, I think it could work. Tom Brady said when he threw that deep ball to Calvin Austin that could have really swung the game. Like he said, Calvin Austin's just too small. Like he's not a big enough target to make that kind of play. Kyle Hamilton, who broke the play up, is literally 6 inches taller than him. Yeah. You just couldn't do it. Put George Pickens in that position, it's a lot more of a fair game. But, yeah, I think it's a weapons thing for the Steelers, and I think it was a little bit arrogant to think that Russell Wilson is the type of quarterback that could win this type of game with Calvin Austin and the whole cast of characters I already mentioned. But, yeah, I think you're going to need weapons. And, honestly, even if you get George Pickens back, if that's all you got in the playoffs, that's going to take it away.
Yeah.
Like, teams are just going to take that away, and we will die on any other hill but George Pickens. What are you going to do?
Yeah, we'll just go and double them.
So, yeah, I mean, Ravens, we need to see this kind of win from them, yes?
Yeah.
But you feel good about them going to the playoffs? I mean, we're here every year at the Ravens. Got to see you do in the playoffs.
I kind of feel like it was like the Dolphins game. I know the Dolphins aren't really that like team to talk about right now, but like the Dolphins needed that kind of win today, and they got it. But it was like it's against the 49ers.
Yeah.
This is the same thing. It was like, but against the Steelers. Not a lot of people believe in them.
Big game for Lamar. I think he's really running away with the MVP now. Yeah. Just like Jane Daniels running with there.
Josh Allen might have lost it today.
Yeah. And that's typically what happens, and Lamar Jackson's going to win another MVP.
Oh, yeah.
He is
Henry.
literally Peyton Manning.
Hey, Derek Henry, I got a major beef with you, son. I mean, just a major beef with you.
It's a huge game.
No. Absolutely huge.
If Derrick Henry was sitting right there, you would not.
Yeah, I would look
call him son.
Listen, sir.
Listen here, Mr. Henry.
Mr. Henry.
Mr. King.
I was at AJ's house. We were watching this game, and every time he broke off in a big play, I was just like, this SO freaking
Where was
B,
that last
dude.
week?
Just doesn't show
It
up.
was a fantasy beef.
Yeah.
It's a fantasy beat. Just doesn't show up and just has a great game, runs the ball well, nothing was stopping this guy.
Let's give a quick shout out, running down some of the players that are going to be featured in our championship this week, in our fantasy championship.
Let's do it.
I think it'll be better to talk about the guys that aren't going to be.
Well, I mean, when you talk about the guys that are, we got Jerome Ford.
Awesome.
30
not a Chevy.
30-year-old Aaron Jones. We've got
Jeez.
Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton will be playing. Juwan Jennings, Jonnu Smith. This is one team. This is one team that made it all the way. So I know you have beef with them, but that's how it happens sometimes.
No,
Fantasy's wild.
Fantasy was pretty crazy this year.
All right, guys.
Was crazy.
That was a fun week. It was a good week of football.
Yeah.
And it's the Saturday thing always pumps me up because it just gets you.
It was fun.
Yeah,
it was fun.
You guys watching the college playoff? I missed the first rounds, and honestly, it feels like I didn't miss much.
We were kind of forced to watch the Ohio State
game.
Yeah.
We had a buddy over.
Was it good?
It's just like Ohio State games.
Started off 21-0 in the first quarter,
and then let up a little bit.
Yeah.
They got a lot of heat, like a lot of sarcastic, see, we told you, there's great football. There's a lot of blowouts, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think this bracket thing is gonna be good as it keeps going.
Big time.
I think it's gonna be fun. I think those guys are gonna eat their words. It's just you can't have these massive upsets if you're also not gonna have some blowouts. You can't have both. Every game's not gonna be like some miracle win.
Right.
So shut up. Any news? Anything to say to Ryan Clark?
Oh, get him.
This guy, I mean, the play that sticks with me is the going all the way back to 2011, where he has talked about this play hundreds of times. It was a Super Bowl against the Steelers, Super Bowl 45.
Was that in the documentary?
That was in the documentary.
Yeah.
Greg Jennings, right up the middle, called the play. He told Aaron, I'm going right up the seam, only I'm going inside and out. And Rodgers threw one of his one of the better passes in his career, and Ryan Clark missed it by literally in less than an inch. And Ryan Clark has never let that play. Specifically that play, he talks about that play being like, I had Aaron. It wasn't inaccurate, though. It was just that I was late to it.
He insists
You
Aaron
freaking
Rodgers.
idiot. That's what good quarterbacks do.
He insists Aaron Rodgers didn't see him. Like, bro, how do you?
Did you not watch
But still
Aaron?
put it in the perfect spot.
Ryan Clark is everything that's wrong with ESPN and sports media, to be honest. Like,
Ryan Clark and ESPN deserve each other, though. Like, honestly, I like that he represents ESPN.
have you ever seen The View? I mean, The Pivot? Have you ever seen the show?
Bunch of babbling hens.
Did they have Kamala on?
They did.
They did, yeah.
I mean, yeah. ESPN. No, I'm just. ESPN sucks. ESPN sucks. What's his name? Homeboy that needs to leave it. God.
Stephen A?
No.
Pat McAfee.
Our
Pat
boy,
McAfee, yeah.
Please leave. Please leave. You're
start your
so
own
much
network.
better than ESPN. Way better than ESPN.
All right. There it is.
Also inside the NBA.
Oh.
They need to leave too.
No, they're
going to join
They're
ESPN.
joining.
No,
ESPN.
right. But I'm saying, like, as fast as you join ESPN, you need to leave.
You already talk about how you get
Well,
out of there.
my hope is that these guys are so successful that they begin to turn ESPN.
Well, and we missed out on something huge because it was always TNT had the best post-game crew.
Yep.
ESPN had the best in-game crew. But they fired everybody. Mark Jackson's gone.
Yep.
Jeff Van Gundy's gone. Like,
those guys are gone?
So we had it was about to be the perfect opportunity. Those guys are gone.
ESPN has a very interesting way of bringing their people. I'm not going to say it, but a very interesting way of bringing their people on.
You're not into the Stephen A. Smith, Cam Newton morning show?
Cam Newton,
Cam Newton.
when you see clips of him, it's almost like
Sprinkling that loud white guy from New York.
You're such a freaking
Mad Dog.
Mad Dog, whatever.
Wait, the bald guy? The bald
No.
The old.
what's his-
He's like a
Chris
New York.
Russo.
He's
He's
like a New York
baseball
radio.
guy.
He is
Yeah.
like an old guy.
He's a moron.
Like a baseball type voice.
He's the biggest. One time I had the show on in the morning. My wife was listening to it. She's like, I don't want to hear that guy talk. No, I'm like, babe, nobody does. Babe.
He reminds me of like you're growing up in church, like one of those preachers, just like, bro, you don't have to yell the entire time. like, do you have another speed?
You're trying to get our attention.
Also, he just plays right into that, like, let's just say the hottest thing we can say.
Yep.
It's just like people are so sick of that. Well, I guess apparently not everyone, but I'm so sick of that kind of sports coverage.
Well, their ratings continue to fall, so people are sick of it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anyone heard from Skip Bayless lately? What happened to Skip?
I think Skip's been canceled, but rightfully. Like, he's the only cancel history that deserved it.
All right, I feel like we should end the show there. Thanks for watching episode 196. We'll be with you again on Wednesday, which is Christmas
Day.
Christmas Day. We'll have just a quick
I heard a special
ranking
guest
show.
will be on that show.
All right, I guess we're at a special guest.
Now we gotta deliver.
Maybe it's Santa Claus. See you then. Bye.